Hey ladies, this is Brianna from MissRudders.com, and for this look, I'm going to show you how I achieved it from start to finish using Miss Rudders hair extensions from MissRudders.com. You will need 3 bundles of 22 inches of the Miss Rudders Luxury Body Wave hair extensions. You also need 20 volume cream developer as well as quick blue lightning bleach powder, a mixing bowl for your bleach, hair cutting scissors as well as coloring brushes, Revlon color number 20 for the roots of your hair, as well as color safe shampoo and conditioner. You will also wear gloves while coloring your hair. To color the ends of each bundle, you need 1 scoop of powder as well as cream developer to be added until you reach a very loose consistency. After laying out your extensions, you're going to be coloring the bottom third of your extensions with your bleach, and you want to make sure to form a very straight line. After doing that, do this feathering technique to break up that line, because once the color is done, we don't want a harsh line in our hair. Now after you do that to both sides, you're then going to do this technique, which is called the striping technique. This is going to allow you to bring more color up the hair without completely dyeing the entire bundle. So we're actually only bleaching the bottom half of our bundles. Now after that, you're going to mix your black hair color and begin dyeing the root area of the bundles of hair. And this is if you want it darker. For me, I wanted it darker. And this is how the color looks once we have finished. And this is only 2 bundles of hair, as you see here. This is the braid pattern that I'm going to be wearing while wearing my U-part wig. So you want to make sure that you have the braids loose where your leave-out will be and the rest are braided to the ends. Now when you're actually pinning down your braids, instead of sewing them down, you want to use bobby pins to pin them down. This is a lot easier and it's a lot faster when you're creating your braid pattern to wear with your U-part wig. So at this point, this is how your braid pattern base should look. Now you want to measure the width of your leave out as well as the length of your leave out, and then you also need to determine exactly how wide the wig will actually be when creating it. Use those same parameters that you've just measured and put marks on your dome cap so you know exactly how wide and also how far back the leave out is. This is going to help you to get that perfect fit with your U-part wig. Now you're going to begin stitching your extensions down to the dome cap. Always stitch through the weft at the very beginning, and then as you're sewing in on the edge, you want to go through the edge of the cap when doing this. Now as you can see here, you're always going to wrap the needle around the thread twice to create a knot, and then you're going to pull the needle up to draw that knot close to the weft. Do this same looping technique throughout the entire process of sewing down your extensions. So now this is what just 2 bundles of Mrs. Rudders hair looks like. And at this point, I'm sewing down the third and I'm going to show you the flip over method. As you see, you just want to flip the extensions back in the opposite direction and keep stitching. This is to prevent you from having to cut through your extensions when sewing your hair. Now begin removing the excess cap at the U-part area so that you can begin sewing in your combs to complete this wig. Now you want to use wig combs because they're extremely flexible and very gentle on your edges. And for every loop on your comb, you're going to create 2 knots before moving on to the next. And this is how your U-part wig should look. So you do not have to sew this down. All you have to do is insert the combs at the braid pattern base. Now after attaching your wig, you still want to make sure that you have your leave out sections available. That's why you wanted to keep these braids loose at the beginning. To blend your leave out with your Mrs. Rudders hair, all you have to do is straighten your hair in thin small sections. And now it's time to use a little bit of edge control. All you need to do is use a little bit of product at a time, and you just want to gently smooth it on your hairline. If you want more of a dramatic effect, then just use more edge control. So here is the finished results to our U-part wig after I straighten my leave out. And as you can see, my leave out blends beautifully and the color turned out absolutely amazing. Now at this point, to create this look, you're going to go ahead and gather your hair into a ponytail. Now after you do that, you're going to slide the ponytail holder down the length of the hair because this determines how short you want the style to be. The trick to cutting the hair off a lot easier is to cut very thin sections. And you don't have to do this perfect. You just want to clean up the hair as much as you can with your scissors so that when you're trimming with your clippers, it's extremely easy. So now work with small sections at a time, and when you slide your fingers down to hold that section, you're then going to use your clippers to clean up the ends. When you comb your next section, always include hair from the previous section, so this will show you exactly how much hair you need to cut off. Now if you're not that great at cutting your hair, all you have to do is follow the steps that you see here, and you will notice that because this hair is so soft, it cuts extremely easy. Now after cutting our hair, this is how the U-part wig looks so far. So I went ahead and installed the wig because I wanted to see how long it was, and this is the exact length I wanted to achieve. As you can see, we have still been able to keep a lot of color because I only cut off about 5 to 6 inches of hair. So now I wanted to go even shorter with this look after I worn it at that length for a while, so I decided to do a very dramatic asymmetrical bob. Now at this point, when you're cutting the hair, try to work with small sections so that way it's a lot easier for you to cut it off. Now after releasing that ponytail, you're going to put the longer side in a ponytail because we're going to actually cut that side a little bit later. We want to focus on the shorter side first. So now you're going to smooth the hair against the mannequin head, and you're going to use your clippers to clean up the ends. We don't want to cut it any shorter than what it is, but we want to make sure that when we're styling and wearing our hair, we don't have those stray, straggly pieces on our neck. We want this cut to be very clean and even. Now when you're working on the next section, you're going to continue to do the same thing by putting cuts in the hair to clean up the ends. Now you're going to use the tail end of your comb to form a straight line on the wig head while you create a guide. This guide is going to help you to determine exactly where you want to cut because you want the shortest side of this bob to be very straight. You don't want it to slope at an angle. So now begin combing through the hair with a comb and cut deeper into your guide to finish cleaning up your hair. So now to check your work, comb the hair against the mannequin head and begin cleaning up the ends even further to complete your cut. So after we finish cutting the shorter side, this is exactly how it looks. So now we're going to release our ponytail and begin cutting the longer side. This is my favorite part because at this point you are creating this slope of exactly how long you want your bob to be. So you're just going to use your clippers to only cut through some of the hair to determine how steep you want your bob to actually turn out. Now after you do that, go ahead and clean up your guide a little more, and then once you're happy with it, you can begin cutting off the rest of the hair. So just make sure to take your time with this part so you don't accidentally cut up into your bob and have to readjust the steepness again. So work with small sections to ensure that it turns out perfectly. Also, comb through your bob and clean up the ends of your hairs with your clippers to make your cut more exact. We want this cut to be extremely sleek and sharp. And check out our asymmetrical bob we created using Miss Redder's hair. And as you can see with the techniques I've just shown you, this bob turned out to be absolutely perfect. Now after installing it, this is how our hairstyle looks. As you see here, one side is long and sloping down at an angle, while the other side is shorter. So now you're going to use your favorite heat protectant to protect your hair and your hair extensions from heat damage. So just take a few pumps and begin applying it to your hair, mostly focusing on the ends since that's the oldest part of your hair. Now divide a small section and clip the rest of the hair away with a hair clip. Gently comb through your section to smooth out your hair, and then you're going to start curling it going towards your face. All the sections on the left side of your hair are going to be curled in this direction. So to achieve this curl, just continue rotating your curlers with one hand while you're holding the ends of your hair with your other hand. Now after holding for a few seconds, you're going to release it from the curlers, and then you're going to use a hair clip to pin that curl in place. Now for the right side of your head, you're going to actually curl your hair going away from your face. And the reason why is because we want the right side of our hairstyle a lot looser than the left side. So after you finish curling your hair, you're simply going to release your curls without actually pinning them. So this is how your hair should look after you finish curling all of your sections. You want the long curls to be pinned, and you want the short side to be unpinned for looser waves. After you finish curling all of your hair, you're going to begin releasing your pins so that you can start combing through your curls and positioning your waves exactly how you want them to be. Now use a wide tooth comb to comb through all your curls to begin turning them into waves. You're going to start combing on the shorter side first and then begin combing through your curls on the longer side. You want to do this to make sure whether or not you want your waves to be this tight. And if not, you want to use a brush to finish brushing through your curls. So as you can see, once I started actually brushing through my curls, the waves started to emerge. That's why in order to get this look, you have to make sure that when you are curling your hair, you are actually curling all the curls going in one direction to create this wavy effect with your hair. Now just continue brushing small sections at a time to position exactly how you want the waves to be, and use your fingers to help you as well to tuck in the waves where you want them to tuck. To put the finishing touches on your hairstyle, you're going to use your favorite hairspray and make sure to give it a good shake. And when you're spraying your hair, you want to start with the shorter side first and then work your way from the back to the longer side. Now at this point, use your favorite edge control to slick your edges. You're only going to use a little bit of product at a time and build it up as you go. So as you can see, you want to make sure you're using the teeth of the comb to sculpt your edges exactly how you want them to lay. So if you want very dramatic edges, you want to use more edge control and take a little bit more time to smooth your edges in the direction that you want them to go. Check out how amazingly well my hair blends with the hair extensions, and how amazing the edges look with this style as well. So now begin putting edge control on the rest of your edges, and always work with small amounts at a time and build it up as you go, because you don't want a lot of product if it's not necessary. So just continue sculpting your hair with your style while using your comb to assist you. And ladies, check out how beautiful this hairstyle turned out. We have a very dramatic, sexy, wavy look going on here. And if you want to achieve hairstyles like this, be sure to purchase your hair extensions from MissRudders.com.